Arts Academy, Jared Cattoor here, and here we are now in the second video of the series, and we're going to start with the first mode, alright? We're going to give special attention to the Ionian mode. So I'll talk about how to use this mode, show you how to play it on the guitar, and where does it come up normally in music. So what you just heard was an example of the Ionian mode. Now Ionian, along with Aeolian, but Ionian is kind of weird to call by Ionian. Now really this is just the major scale. So Ionian, right? So how do we create the major scale? We talked in the previous video a lot about how to get all of these scales, but one thing I did not mention was the formula that creates a major scale. Now this is important because we're going to use this as a reference for all of the other modes. Ionian is the parent scale in major, right? It's the mother scale. So we can use this scale to relate and understand all of the rests. Okay, so let's go ahead and just think of that for a moment. So there's a simple formula that we can use to make a major scale. That simple formula is you start with one note, and from there you go one whole step away, another whole step, then a half step, and then a whole step, a whole step, a whole step, and one more half step. So normally we say whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now if we do that starting with the note C, right? So we're on C, we go a whole step away to D, a whole step away to E, a half step away to F, a whole step away to G, a whole step away to A, a whole step to B, and then half step to C, right? So that is how you create the major scale. Doing it on one string is going to be an easy way to see it. Now, but if we put that in a pattern, it can look something like this. So, I want you to go ahead now, I'm going to show you the pattern. I'd like you to learn it if you don't already know it. We're going to do it in 2 octaves, and this is exactly what I did in the first video. We're going to start on the note C on the 8th fret of the E string with our second finger, okay? So we're going to go C, then 4th finger on D, 1st finger on E on the next string, 2nd finger on F, pinky on G, 1st finger on A on the next string, 3rd finger on B, pinky on C. So that's 1 octave. So it's like 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. Okay, 2nd octave starts with C, of course. So pinky on C, right? We start there. Now we move to the next string. 1st finger on D, 3rd finger on E, pinky on F. Now next string, 2nd finger on G, pinky on A, next string, 1st finger on B, 2nd finger on C. And that's it, right? Now also in this position, D is available with our pinky, just right there. Kind of like how B was available here. But if we play just from C to C in 2 octaves, it's like this. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. Okay? We can play that guy. So that's how to play a C major scale, right? Now this is movable on the guitar. Doesn't matter. You can use this for any key, this scale pattern. It's just a pattern, but it's good to know the notes. Okay? Because we're also going to be using this scale to help understand the rest of the modes. So, as we said last time, one thing we can do is number these. We can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1. 7 notes in the scale, right? This is important. The exact distances here are very important to understand. So that is how you play the Ionian mode, alright? So now that you have that under your fingers, make sure you've gone ahead and you've learned that with me. If you didn't, go ahead and go back and learn it. But now that you've got that under your fingers, let's go ahead and play it, right? Let's do a little bit of jamming. So I have a little backing track here, a very normal progression for Ionian. First off, of course it's going to start on the 1. So actually the thing to understand about all modes is where is your tonal center? And that means what's the first chord and the last chord? Where do all the chords revolve around, right? The real sound revolves around C. So the chords I played in that backing track are starting with C, and then I played G major, and I played an A minor 7, restart, it's over. But you can hear the tonal center is C, meaning like when I resolve, when I stop, you hear that. This is the main sound. Even though there's more chords, the whole center, what the music is revolving around is C. This is like our home, right? This is where the music should end. It sounds like C, right? So that's why when we play the Ionian mode, that's what it is, because the tonal center is C, okay? So let me go ahead and turn on this backing track and give you an example. I played it faster. These are the same chords. Just the scale. You can make little melodies. So, just an example of what it sounds like. Now know that the Ionian mode, and again, it's kind of weird to say Ionian because really this is just the major scale. And the major scale is probably the most common sound you're going to hear throughout the world when it comes to sounds and music and scales that we use. It's really like number one. So let me go ahead now and give you an opportunity to try to play this scale, right? Play this mode, this scale, over the chords that I have put here, okay? It's your turn. Now jam with the mode like I just did, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I hope you had fun there. You can do this as many times as you want. Just make sure you have the pattern under your hands, and then you can go ahead and play with it, right? So just to recap, Ionian mode is really just the major scale, and this scale is everywhere. One example is like... somewhere over the rainbow. It fits right in the major scale. It is the major scale. Or how about this one? Joy to the world. Right? That's just the major scale going straight down. It's very common. Also, the major scale it's a very major and happy sound. And basically every lullaby that you've ever heard is almost always the major scale, right? So these are just some examples of where you would hear this. Anytime you hear a happy, major sounding music, you're most likely going to hear the major scale, popular music and things like that. Alright, so that is it for this mode, alright? So just know the major scale, or the Ionian mode, is a major scale, a type of a major scale. There's different types of major sounds, but this one has this specific, unique flavor, and we're going to use this to also understand all the rest of the modes and how we can change this sound and get different modes. So anyway, make sure you know this scale pattern and that you can jam with it, okay? And just know that the mode, it's about where the tonal center comes from. So the tonal center here comes from C, right? That's our one chord, remember? And that is why we're playing C major. So anyway, I hope this all makes sense, but either way, just take this pattern, keep jamming with it, have a good time. You can look up backing tracks and say, Ionian jam track. Just type that in Google and you can jam over some stuff in major. Anyway, get to practicing, practice the Ionian mode, practice the major scale, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Alright.